What happens when a crime boss
decides to humiliate a helpless waitress
in front of a crowded luxury restaurant? In today's intense story, a powerful man drags a black waitress into a terrifying situation, thinking no one will dare to stop him. But what he doesn't know is that she has spent 15 years training for moments exactly like this, and when she finally reacts, everything inside that restaurant changes forever. This is a story about courage, control, and the moment a victim refuses to stay silent. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Now let's get started. The restaurant in downtown Atlanta was known for its luxury atmosphere, reserved seating and elite clientele. Soft golden lighting reflected off polished wood tables, while slow jazz music floated through the air, creating an illusion of calm sophistication. Waiters moved gracefully between tables, carrying expensive dishes and carefully avoiding any disruption to the wealthy guests. Aaliyah Thompson adjusted her uniform as she balanced a tray of drinks, moving quickly but quietly through the dining area. She had worked at the restaurant for nearly 2 years, saving money for college, while taking care of her younger brother at home. She was used to difficult customers, late shifts and exhausting hours, but she had never allowed it to break her spirit. That night, however, felt different. A black luxury convoy arrived outside the restaurant just after 9 p.m. The atmosphere inside suddenly shifted. Even before the doors opened, conversations softened, heads turned slightly. Everyone seemed to sense something approaching. The entrance door swung open. A man stepped inside, tall, sharply dressed, and surrounded by 3 heavily built men. His presence immediately changed the energy in the room. This was Marcus Vane, a name whispered in parts of the city where trouble always followed, though nothing about him was officially confirmed. His reputation as a crime boss was enough to make even confident people uneasy. The manager rushed forward, nervously greeting him with forced politeness. "Mr. Vane, your usual table is ready." Marcus didn't respond immediately. His eyes scanned the room slowly as if he owned it. Then he walked toward the VIP section without waiting for approval. Aaliyah noticed him as she passed by with her tray. Something about his calm, controlled arrogance made her uneasy. She lowered her gaze and continued working, hoping to avoid attention. But fate rarely listens to hope. A few minutes later, Aaliyah approached the VIP table to serve an order. Marcus was seated comfortably, leaning back as his men laughed quietly around him. The air around their table felt heavier than the rest of the restaurant. "Your drinks," she said politely. Placing the tray down, one of Marcus's men nudged the table slightly. A glass shifted, a drop of liquid spilled onto the polished surface. Marcus's expression changed instantly. "I didn't order incompetence," he said coldly. Aaliyah froze for a moment, confused. "I'm sorry, sir." "I can," before she could finish. Marcus stood up abruptly. The entire restaurant seemed to pause at once. What happened next would change everything inside those walls. The moment Marcus Vane stood up, the atmosphere inside the restaurant shifted completely. Conversations died mid-sentence. Forks froze in the air, and even the soft jazz music seemed distant. Almost irrelevant, Aaliyah felt her heartbeat quicken. But she forced herself to remain composed. She had dealt with rude customers before, but something about Marcus was different. His silence was heavier than shouting. He took one step forward. "Do you know who I am?" Marcus asked calmly, his voice low but sharp enough to cut through the silence. Aaliyah swallowed, maintaining eye contact out of professional habit, even though instinct told her to look away. "Sir, I apologize if there was a mistake with your order." "I can replace," before she could finish. Marcus grabbed her wrist. The movement was sudden, aggressive and deliberate. Gasps echoed across nearby tables. In one swift motion, he pulled her forward and slammed her against the edge of the polished bar counter. Near the VIP section, glasses rattled. A nearby bottle tipped over, spilling liquid across the surface. The restaurant erupted into stunned silence. Aaliyah's breath caught not from pain alone, but from shock for a brief second. Her surroundings blurred, faces watching, lights reflecting fear spreading like wildfire. Marcus leaned closer, his grip tight. "Maybe now you'll learn respect," he said coldly, loud enough for everyone to hear. No one moved. Not the manager, not the staff, not the guests. Everyone avoided eye contact, pretending not to see what was happening. The power Marcus held in that room was enough to silence even the bravest voices. Aaliyah's back pressed against the counter, her hands instinctively bracing against it. She felt the weight of the situation, But beneath the fear, something else stirred. Something buried deep. Marcus smirked slightly, misreading her silence as defeat. "Go on," he said mockingly. "Fight back, little girl." That sentence landed differently. A flicker changed in Aaliyah's expression. Her breathing steadied, her eyes sharpened. The fear that had frozen her moments ago began to fade, replaced by something controlled and precise. Memories flashed in her mind. Early morning training sessions, bruised knuckles, disciplined breathing, instructors repeating one rule over and over: never panic under pressure. Marcus tightened his grip again, unaware of the shift happening in front of him. Aaliyah exhaled slowly, and in that exact moment, everything inside her changed. The restaurant didn't know it yet, but the situation was no longer under Marcus's control. It never was again.